A female officer reported her own department, then they tried to destroy her. If you enjoy emotional revenge stories with shocking twists, subscribe now, because this story proves betrayal hurts most when it comes from your own team. The first time I realized my department wanted me gone was the night I heard my own captain laughing about me through a thin office wall. She's emotional, weak, easy to break. I froze outside the briefing room, my hands tightened around the case files I was carrying. Inside the room, 3 senior officers laughed quietly. One of them said something that still haunts me. Soon she'll either quit or beg us to stop. My stomach dropped instantly, because suddenly, every missing report, every cruel joke, every dangerous call I was sent to alone finally made sense. None of it was random. They were targeting me on purpose. And honestly, that was the moment Officer Rachel Cole disappeared, and someone far more dangerous took her place. When I joined Metro Police Department, everyone pretended to welcome me. But fake smiles are easy to recognize, especially in police work. I was 29, former military reserve, top academy scores, disciplined, focused, and according to some officers, too ambitious for a woman. At first, I ignored the comments. You should work front desk instead. You're too soft for this unit. You got promoted because the department wanted diversity. I stayed quiet, not because I was weak, because I believed results would silence people. And for a while, they did. I solved cases, earned praise, built community trust. But success created enemies, especially Captain Morris. He hated attention leaving his control. And when reporters started mentioning my name instead of his, everything changed. Suddenly my reports disappeared. My shifts became dangerous. Backup arrived late, and the department slowly turned into a nightmare. One freezing winter night, dispatch sent me alone to an abandoned warehouse. Domestic disturbance. Possible weapons involved. Standard call. Or so I thought. The moment I entered the building, I knew something was wrong. No voices, no movement, just silence. Then my radio stopped working. Completely dead. Fear crawled into my chest instantly. I stepped carefully through the dark hallway while reaching for my flashlight. Then suddenly, footsteps behind me. I spun around fast. Nothing. But deep down, my instincts screamed. This wasn't an accident. This was a setup. I rushed outside immediately and called dispatch from my phone. The dispatcher sounded confused. What warehouse? Cold fear exploded through me. There never was a real call. Someone sent me there intentionally, alone, without backup. And honestly, that terrified me more than criminals ever had. Because criminals wear masks. Corrupt officers wear badges. The next morning, I reported everything. Captain Morris leaned back calmly during my statement. You're making serious accusations. I know what happened. Do you have proof? That word again. Proof. Funny how victims always need proof, while powerful people only need reputation. Internal Affairs questioned me for hours, like I was the criminal. One investigator finally sighed. Maybe stress is affecting your judgment. That sentence nearly broke me emotionally, because suddenly I realized something horrifying. The system wasn't built to protect people like me. It protected itself first. When I left the office, Officer Kane smirked while walking past me. You should learn when to stay quiet. That sentence stayed in my head all night, because it wasn't advice. It was a warning. 3 days later, an older dispatcher named Helen quietly stopped me near archives. You need to see something. She handed me an old personnel folder secretly. Inside were complaints. Multiple complaints. Female officers. Harassment. Threats. Destroyed careers. Transfers. Forced resignations. Every complaint involved the same names. Captain Morris. Officer Kane. Sergeant Bell. My hands shook while reading everything. Because suddenly, I wasn't looking at isolated corruption anymore. I was looking at a pattern. Years of silence. Years of fear. Years of women pushed out quietly. Then Helen whispered something devastating. "You're not the first officer they tried to destroy." That sentence lit something inside me. Not fear anymore. Anger. Pure anger. And honestly, angry people stop being easy to control. One night after shift change, Officer Daniel Brooks approached me carefully. "You shouldn't trust anyone here." I crossed my arms immediately. "Why are you telling me this?" He looked nervous, because helping me could destroy his career too. Then quietly, he handed me a small flash drive. "What's this?" "Security footage backups." My heartbeat stopped instantly. "You copied department files?" They were deleting evidence. I stared at him silently. Then he said something I'll never forget. "My sister quit this department because of them." Silence. Heavy silence. Then he looked directly at me. "Don't let them win again." That night, I finally stopped thinking about survival and started thinking about exposure. Because if corrupt people fear anything, it's sunlight. For weeks, I stayed quiet. Very quiet. Too quiet. And that made them confident. Captain Morris started smiling again. Officer Kane mocked me openly. They thought I was broken. Good. Let them think that. Because secretly, I was collecting everything. Recordings, deleted reports, missing evidence, threatening messages, financial corruption, even illegal case manipulation. The deeper I investigated, the uglier everything became. Then I found the biggest secret of all. Captain Morris was protecting local criminals in exchange for money. Real money. Enough to destroy the entire department publicly. And suddenly, I understood why they feared me so much. I wasn't just another officer anymore. I was a threat. City Hall held a police transparency hearing 2 weeks later. Media everywhere, cameras rolling live. Captain Morris stood confidently near reporters pretending everything was normal. Then my name was unexpectedly called to speak. The room fell silent. I walked slowly toward the microphone, hands shaking, heart racing, but not from fear anymore. Truth. I looked directly into the cameras. My department failed good officers for years. Captain Morris froze instantly. Good. Then I placed several files and flash drives on the table. And tonight, the public deserves to know why. Chaos exploded immediately. Reporters shouting, officials panicking, officers whispering nervously. Then the recording started playing. Threats, corruption, evidence tampering, illegal deals. Captain Morris's own voice filled the room. And suddenly, the powerful men who once mocked me looked terrified for the first time. Honestly, watching corrupt people panic after years of arrogance felt incredible. Within days, everything collapsed. Investigations opened immediately. Several officers suspended. Federal agents arrived. News channels covered the scandal nonstop. Captain Morris resigned publicly before charges could even begin. Officer Kane disappeared from the department entirely, and suddenly the same people who ignored me wanted interviews, support, statements. Funny how quickly the world changes when truth becomes public. But honestly, the best moment came later. A young female recruit approached me quietly outside headquarters. "You're the reason I stayed." That hit harder than revenge ever could. Because finally, someone else felt safe. And maybe that mattered most. 6 months later, I stood outside the same police station that once nearly destroyed me. But everything looked different now. New leadership, new investigations, new policies. And for the first time in years, people inside that building were afraid of consequences, not silence. As I looked at my badge, I realized something important. Strength isn't about never breaking. It's about refusing to stay broken. And honestly, that's what scared them most. Not my evidence, not my recordings, not the investigation. They feared the fact that after everything they did, I still stood up. The end. If this story shocked you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below, because sometimes the people hiding behind authority are the ones most afraid of the truth.